Walter Nolan going 17 to the Bengals.
Thank God. I hope Walter Nolan gets selected before the Broncos. Because I don't want the Broncos to do something stupid and select Walter Nolan, even though Jeff Lakewell loves him.
Yeah, and he's got Matthew Golden going to the Broncos, wide receiver out of Texas, who's a great wide receiver.
Hey, if we got Matthew Golden, we'd be excited about that. That's some special speed.
Holy cow, I'm looking at
Go
Yates.
to 29.
21 Steelers, Murray and Hampton, so he doesn't have Shadur going there. See, I'm just looking at this for the first time. I'm flipping down to 29. Projected trade, Commanders. Oh, I got to read this. Projected Commanders-Browns trade. Shadur Sanders at 29 to the Browns.
That would be pretty epic, dude.
I like that. That would be a hell. That'd be like draft day Kevin Costner.
You shouldn't like that. You should be screaming they're the world's biggest idiots because they should have taken Shadur at number 2. You can't have that one both ways.
No, I agree. If you are committed to, I agree. But there's no way you're going to get Travis Hunter at 29. If you can pull it off, I roll my eyes at it because it's not great, but it's better than waiting until the second round and jumping up into 29, 30, 31, 32. It does not happen very often. But that's what the Broncos could have done with Lamar Jackson. And listen, I wouldn't have loved the strategy of Bradley Chubb then Lamar Jackson, but I would have reluctantly been like, okay, at least you got it done. Let's go.
I'm sure there'll be multiple teams.
Yeah.
There'll be multiple teams if Shadur really does fall to the late 20s, whether it's the Saints, whether it's the Jets, whether it's the Raiders, whether I don't know, the 49ers or the Cleveland Browns. There will be multiple teams out there that'll be interested in moving back into the first round to take Shadur. Now the question is, how much do they really like him? Because if they're just head over heels with the dude, they wouldn't wait until the late 20s. What they would do is they would trade specifically with the Denver Broncos at number 20 because they don't want the Pittsburgh Steelers to have a chance at drafting them. So keep your eyes on this, man. I don't know if that makes it anticlimactic for Broncos fans if we end up moving down to the late 20s or not.
Or out of the draft itself.
Or out of the first round. Well, you wouldn't move out of the – well, you might. Because they'd already used their first.
Theoretically.
Yeah, you're right. They might have to because they.
I just want to know if they move out of the first.
Yeah.
Can I get Dmac going? No!
Yes.
No!
Yes.
No!
Yeah, I have.
No!
I've seen a lot of questions.
I want the yin. I want the yang for the yin from last year.
I've seen a lot of questions. Yeah. What's it going to take for Dmac to have another draft-gasm?
There's nothing.
Move up to like 6 and get Genty.
It's just not like last year. There's no way for me to have a draft-gasm. I could have a. I'll give you a no if they just move out of the first round. But then again, I wouldn't. I swear to God, I wouldn't hate it. Because what if you got Travion Henderson high in the second round? And then you get, I don't know, give me your tight end. You get Arroyo out of Miami, tight end, with your other second-round pick. I'm not hating on that.
I think we should take that tight end out of Miami that was in year 12. He's in the draft this year. I can't remember his name, but he's like a 35-year-old coming out of college.
Well, Arroyo's out of Miami too, but I don't know the old guy there. Listen, man, if they got Henderson and Arroyo, both second-round picks, I mean, I would not hate on that. I don't know. There's nothing that would get me to get a draft-gasm like last year. It's impossible. It just doesn't exist.
Move up to get Tyler Warren?
Move up for what? Sorry.
To get Tyler Warren?
I'd be excited, but it wouldn't be a draft-gasm.
Yes! You got your Justin Fields, baby. Yes!
That is slightly embarrassing.
The fact that
let's be honest, that was also more to stick it up Andy and Sanford's butt.
That was like 10 years of pent up frustration, boiling out in that one little moment. I was barely listening to Sanford and Andy that particular night. Andy wanted freaking Brock Bowers. Where's the Brock Bowers crew this year? That was so all about Brock Bowers for the Broncos. Hello, anybody there? Bueller?
Well, I mean, he had a pretty good year. I mean, it wasn't like he stunk.
You find anybody who thinks Brock Bowers would have been a better pick than Bo Nix right now? Anybody? Seriously?
No.
Okay.
Will we think in year 4 that?
No, we will not, because we'll have a Super Bowl championship under our belt.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay. If we don't, I'll be disappointed. You're giving up.
I'm proud of you for that.
The level's high. I will be disappointed if Bo Nix doesn't get 11 wins this year and wins a wild card game. I will be disappointed in Bo Nix if he doesn't do that. And in year 3, if you're not in an AFC championship game, I'll be doubly disappointed.
Boy, you'd really hate Lamar Jackson, wouldn't you?
I love Lamar Jackson.
Boy, but I'd be terrible if he's our quarterback because, man, God forbid he didn't get a Super Bowl in year 4.
He would have got a Super Bowl in year 4 if he was at the Broncos.
Right.
They would have figured that out. Never mind what we would have done with Josh Allen. No AIS. AIS, not assumed incompetence syndrome here. If you're doing the right thing with the right player, you're also doing other things right, too. You probably fire Vic Fangio.
No,
Thank God.
it is pretty amazing. And in hindsight, we should all be saying, thank God we drafted Bo Nix.
Thank God we drafted Bo Nix.
I did hear the morning show talking about this today. It is a good conversation, or at least just looking back on things in hindsight. Man, it wasn't so long ago that we were just halfway through the season. We're having the conversation. Would you have rather selected? Would you have rather waited a year to get Shedeur, or are you happy that we selected Bo Nix? Even I got to say, I mean, as big of a Shedeur fan as I am, I got something pretty good in Bo Nix. I think Shedeur is going to be pretty good. I think so, but I got something that's pretty good in Bo Nix.
And look at everything else you can now do because of that. And yes, it's not quite as dramatic for the Broncos. You'll have no draftgasm tonight out of me, but it's a more fundamental way and a better way to build a team.
Draftgasm. Broncos trade up, get Travis Hunter.
That would get me. You'd get me going a little bit on that one.
Yep.
So,
I mean, that would be
no dumb
unbelievable.
question.
That
No
would
dumb
be
question.
crazy.
The biggest draftgasm is if somehow they jumped up to 2 and got Travis Hunter, you would have another yes.
Of course. If they could pull that off.
I don't even care what they give up. I wouldn't even look at it.
By the way, we said if the Browns did that, they would win